This video is sponsored by the Ultimate Freelancing Bundle by StudyWebDevelopment.com, which gives you everything you need to start your own freelancing business, including a 130-page in-depth guide, invoicing and client proposal templates, website templates, an SEO checklist, and much more. Visit the link in the description and use the code BRAD25 to get 25% off. Hey, what's going on, guys? In this video, I want to explore a bunch of different resources or websites where you can apply for development jobs, okay? Not necessarily just development jobs, a lot of designer, SEO, engineering, anything tech-related, a lot of these websites offer. Okay, so what I did is I created a Medium article. There's about 70 or so links in here, and I separated them into categories. So traditional job search, meaning you're looking for a job that's local to you, usually full-time, working for a position at a company. Okay, so just a regular job. We also have some links here that are based on startups. So if you want to work for a startup, and what's cool about that is if you're one of the first people to work at a startup and that startup company is successful, then you're gonna be set. A lot of times they'll even offer equity, and you'll see that this Angelco, it shows you the salary that for the position and also the amount of equity. All right, so we also have freelancer sites where you can go and you can basically apply for individual projects, either by people or by companies that post them. We have screened freelancer sites where it's a little more strict to get jobs, like to actually be a provider for that site. There's a screening process and so on. We have job boards for remote jobs if you want to work from home, like me. So micro jobs, sites like Fiverr where you can have like little services that you provide for a fixed price. We have some stuff for designers, so designer-based job boards, contests and challenges. So this is kind of interesting. You can actually compete with other developers to get jobs. Big companies, so here I just have a list of links if you were interested in working for Google, Amazon, Apple, Microsoft. So these would be the links where you would start if you feel you're at that level. All right, so I'm not going to go through all of these. Obviously, that would be like a 3-hour video, but we'll go through some of them. So Indeed.com is the first one because this is where I would definitely suggest to look first. Indeed is extremely popular. It's probably the most popular job board there is, not just for technology, but for any kind of job. So if we search for like React, Boston, Mass, we get about 1,400 results. Okay, so you can filter, distance and all that stuff, entry level. You can look at different levels of experience. So let's say this one here, React Native App Developer. Basically, it'll just give you a little description of the job, what's included. You can see health benefits, paid vacation. It's a full-time job, 80K to 100K per year. Which isn't bad. 2 years of React Native experience required. And yeah, so if you want to apply, you could just go put in your information, upload your resume, add your cover letter, which I would definitely suggest doing, and really getting a good resume made up. Now, some of these positions will say bachelor's degree required or something like that, some kind of degree. And don't let that discourage you, and don't let that make you not apply for the job. Still, if it's something that you feel you can do, apply for it, even if you don't have that degree. What I would suggest, though, if you're a self-taught developer like me and you don't have a degree, I would suggest really, really perfecting your portfolio and creating projects that are unique, that will impress employers and make them look past that stupid piece of paper. And make them see that you can do the job, and it doesn't matter. Even if you don't have that degree, you know what you're doing. Because in my experience, so many self-taught developers are very passionate, and you have to be. You have to be passionate. You have to have the drive to teach yourself and to motivate yourself and have that discipline. And I think that a lot of companies are realizing that now. Okay, and they're looking past that degree, which is a good thing, because some people just go to school, they don't really pay attention, they just go through it, go through the motions, and a lot of times the schools don't even teach up-to-date stuff, There's not too many schools, regular colleges that are teaching React Native. Boot camps are an excellent thing to do, in my personal opinion. And of course, everything I say is my opinion. But yeah, so I don't want to spend too much time talking about that. I already have, but let's move on. So Craigslist, you guys know what Craigslist is. You can find jobs there. Simply Hired is pretty cool. They actually reach out to, a network of services here, or a network of job boards. So if we search for PHP developer in Boston, let's see, web developer for the Museum of Science, which is pretty cool. I actually take my kids there. And then they'll give you just a list of like requirements and qualifications. So associate's degree or business certificate, that's not bad. Benefits, so it tells you everything from like sick days to holidays and all that stuff. So if you want to apply, you can go ahead and click apply, and what it'll do is usually take you to the actual company website, and you would apply here. All right, so let's see what else. I'm not going to go through all of these, obviously, but Authentic Jobs is a good one. LinkedIn Pro Finder is a service where they really target what you need. So, like, let's say we need graphic design done. It'll actually take us through some steps here, like if we want a website, a logo, stuff like that, and it will really target the professional that they think is the best fit. And if you want to join as a pro, you can click this link here and say apply now, and then I'm not logged in, but I believe that you just go through a little process. I don't know if you have to get approved or if you're just approved right away, but that might be something you want to look into. Mashable and Smashing Magazine both have job boards, just pretty just average, regular job boards, nothing special. Power to Fly is actually for women. So you'll see here women helping women elevate their careers. For the 6 or 7% of my audience that are women, this might be something to look into. Let's see. Who is hiring? I actually really like the interface of this. So if we search for like Angular, and let's search in Boston, and it gives you a map where you can actually click on different locations, and it'll give you the results over here. One thing I noticed here is that a lot of these jobs are senior level. Okay, look at senior C#, senior backend, senior Node.js. So if you've been in the industry for a long time and you're for some reason looking for a job, this might be a good place for you to check out. Let's see, so I'm not going to go through all of these. WP Hired is actually for WordPress. So if you're a WordPress developer, there's full-time positions mostly, but there are some freelancing positions as well. GitHub and Stack Overflow also have job boards, but they're not that great. The GitHub one, let's see, I think it only has it has 180 jobs, so it's not too extensive. Same with Stack Overflow. So it looks like 3,000 jobs. Like if I search for, let's say, PHP in Boston, we get one result. So yeah, I mean, it's worth a shot just to check it out, but you probably won't find anything there. So this category here is for startups, and this is probably the best one, Angel.co. I'm actually logged in, so you'll probably just see the landing page. But if you sign up and log in and you go to jobs, you'll see a list of startups. So let's see, 18,000 startups. And it'll show you a list for each company. These are all companies, all startups. And it'll show you a list of the available jobs. Okay, so software engineer data, software engineer full stack. It'll give you the location. And this is what I was talking about. This is really cool. They'll give you your salary and show you the amount of equity that you'll get in the company. Okay, so you'll actually own a portion of the company. I didn't know that was equity until I saw one like this that says no equity. Okay, so some of them obviously don't offer equity, but some of them do. So that's actually really cool. If that business becomes very successful, then you're going to be a very wealthy person. So that's probably the best one of these, but you have like underdog.io, which is similar, but I think you have to create an application or fill out an application to even view the jobs. Startuppers is another one. Okay, very simple interface, kind of looks like Craigslist, but it's all startup companies. Then down here we have freelancer sites like Upwork. Okay, Upwork is probably the most popular. Now, people have different opinions on these sites. A lot of people look at these sites negatively because if you've heard the term race to the bottom, because you're competing against some of the poorest countries in the world that will work for next to nothing. And it's difficult if you're in a country like the US to compete with that. All right, but at the same time, I actually started, this was one of the places I started my business back, years ago, and it was actually called odesk.com. And it was the same thing then. People were working for peanuts. But once I built up a little reputation and I had some feedback and good reviews and all that, I was able to up my prices, and I was actually making some pretty good money. So it is possible to be successful here, and it also opens up leads to other jobs and other opportunities. So you can be successful on sites like Upwork. So freelancer.com is pretty similar. People just post jobs and people apply for them. Most of these are pretty much the same. Guru.com. So 1 million jobs completed, 3 million members, 250 million paid to gurus. People per hour. I've heard some good things about this one. And this is all different industries, I think. So market research. Social media management. So even if you're not a programmer, you could still find stuff here like technical writing and stuff like that. So down here we have screened freelancer sites. I don't know if that's the right term, but these are basically like sites where not just anybody can apply for anything like these sites. So TopTool is probably the most popular and probably the toughest. As you can see, they hire only about 3% of the applicants that try to get in. Now, that may seem strict, but I think it's a good idea because it gives clients a place to go that want to find someone that's competent that can actually do the job, and it gives them a place to find people rather than just like Upwork, where you have guys applying for Ruby on Rails positions that have never written a line of Ruby, and it happens all the time. So here they actually do a screening process. So they do a screening process for like language and personality, skill review to make sure that you know what you're doing, what you're applying for, live screening, test projects. So anyone that goes through this process and passes is definitely going to be competent. And you can also, of course, charge more. So Socoworks is kind of similar. They actually connect brands and companies with freelancers. So let's see. If we go down here, benefits. Let's see. Get handpicked job opportunities from top brands and agencies. So you can sign up for free. And it's more of them pairing you with clients than you just applying for any job, for anyone applying for anything. Gun.io, kind of the same thing. Become a freelancer. So we only accept clients with interesting product development challenges. So, they put you through some testing to be able to get in. And if you get in, then, you'll be making some good money. So here we have some remote job boards. These are like any other job board except they're remote. So all types of categories. If we click developer, so Python engineer, React.js, GraphQL developer, mid to senior, Android developer. So all types of programming jobs, and they're all remote. So you could apply to any of these no matter where you are. We work remotely is another good one. And so DevOps, security engineer. And let's see, you can even do like copywriting, stuff like that. Programming. It seems like there's a lot of DevOps stuff. And that makes sense because, you're usually logging into a remote server and just deploying and stuff like that. So this is pretty pricey to post a job. So $300 to post a job. But that's on their side, not our side. So let's see, remotive.io is another one. So we can go to find a remote job, and you'll see there's even like human resources marketing. But if you look here, WordPress developer, backend engineer with Rust, JavaScript engineer, and these are all remote jobs. Okay, so yeah, so there's some other ones here. Working nomads is another one. And then we have micro jobs, which are like Fiverr, and I'm sure a lot of you guys know what Fiverr is. Basically, you create like a little service that you provide for a price. So, for instance, high converting responsive landing pages. So this person will build landing pages for $35, which I think is way too cheap. But it looks like there's basic, standard. So this one would be like 200 words, standard, premium. So different packages. And you got reviews down here. So he's got a 4.9 review. So it looks like really good reviews. And obviously, the more reviews and clients you get, the higher you can raise your prices and the more work you'll get. So that's Fiverr. And Vado Studio is another one. They actually offer tutorials and courses and stuff too, but they also have this. Like, let's go to websites and programming. So PHP fixes, $150. Customized website, HTML, WordPress, $350. So I'm not really a fan of doing something like this because you don't know like the complications that their theme or website might have. So you're saying no matter what, it's going to be $350, and I'm not a fan of that. I don't like fixed pricing like that, and people expect the world, for such low prices. So I don't know if I would do that for something like customizing websites, but I've seen like where is it? I saw it earlier. There was a service for $50 to basically port a WordPress website from one host to another, and you can do that in minutes. There's actually plugins you can install. Just put in the database parameters and the domain of the new host, and it just does it for you. So literally, you can do it in minutes. And $50 for that, if you get 10 to 20 clients per day doing that, you're going to make a lot of money, and just for doing basically, a couple hours of work. So down here, let's see, Gigbucks, same kind of thing, Task Army. I'm not going to go through them all. These are for designers. Behance, I'm sure a lot of you have heard of Behance. It's basically like a portfolio site. Like this stuff here is amazing. I've seen some really amazing stuff here as far as design goes. Like I wouldn't even know where to start to create this stuff. But yeah, so you can use it as a design portfolio, and also they do have a job board if you click on jobs. So you can see a lot of UI, UX stuff, design stuff. And then Dribble is pretty similar. So here we have jobs, design-based jobs at Dribble, Coral Float. I don't know how to say that, but they have design-based jobs as well, which you can filter. UX job board, Design Hill, or some other ones. So this right here, contests and challenges, is pretty cool. This TopCoder.com, I actually discovered this morning. And basically, if we go to how it works, this right here, what's the difference between crowdsourcing, which is what they do, and freelancing? So freelancing sites like Upwork require you to choose an individual from their network and work one-on-one with that person. But with TopCoder, we make your project available to our global community of designers and technologists, so you get multiple people competing to deliver the best solution to your problem. So basically, there's like competitions to get the work, which is pretty cool because it really brings up, people's drive and ambition, and it's not just like, lazily applying to jobs or whatever. Challenge Rocket, same kind of thing. So have a challenge, test your skills, get hired. So if you're into that, if you want to, if you're competitive and you want to kind of fight for your position, you might want to look into this kind of stuff. And then big companies, I just have some links for like Microsoft, Google, Netflix. So jobs at Netflix, if we search for, let's say, React, and we'll get a bunch of jobs actually. So web UI, senior software engineer, React and Flow, build performant features well tested in React for both server and browser. So, you know, if you think you're good enough to work at these companies, then this is where you would start. All right, so that's going to be it, guys. Hopefully you find this little list useful. And one last thing that I want to mention that's really important is, I know that for most of you, when you look at these job postings, especially if it's your first job, you're going to get intimidated and you're going to get scared to apply and to go interview and all that stuff. And that's completely normal. Now, what you should do is, when that happens, is you should weigh the negatives and the positives of applying for this job, like the worst that could happen and the best that could happen. So the worst that could happen is they tell you no. Okay. Well, the absolute worst, I guess, would be they'd insult you. You know, maybe you'd get some dick that would say, like, you have no business applying for this job. If so, fuck them, leave, and then go to the next one. The best thing that could happen is you could get the job of your dreams. You could make hundreds of thousands of dollars per year. You can provide for your family. You can get a beautiful house. You can leave your kids money. You can send them to college. That's the good stuff that could happen. So there's really no weighing that. So just go for it, as long as you know as long as you know the technology that it is. Like, don't do what I said earlier about the guy that never written a line of Ruby and applies for a Ruby on Rails job. Of course, don't do that. But if you know more than the basics of a technology, and that's the technology that they're using, like React Native, for example. If you've built a couple React Native apps, friggin' apply. You know, don't pass it up just because you're having some self-doubt. All right, so that's all I can say, guys. Hopefully you like this video, and I will see you next time. Hey guys, one of the best, if not the best resource I can refer you to for starting a freelance business is at studywebdevelopment.com/freelancing. The creator Kyle shared it with me, and I can personally vouch that this bundle is well worth it. You get a 130-page guide to freelancing, and it comes with things like invoice templates, client proposals, HTML and CSS templates, a portfolio website, access to a private Facebook community, and much more. So use the code BRAD25 to get 25% off today.